Welcome to another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Wally. Hazy Sunset, New England IPA, Bayfield Brewing Company. And today, I am so excited to have on a 35-year-old from Smooth Rock Falls, Ontario, Canada. His hockey journey has taken him to Canada, the USA, Germany, France, Wales, England, and Poland. A staple and legend of the Hawkesbury Hawks, a two-time CJHL champion with them, a first-team All-Star, and the playoff MVP. But we still don't know why he had 208 penalty minutes. He put Canisius College on the hockey map and was the second all-conference team there. 13-14 most goals and points by a D-man in the French league in between ski runs with Morzine. He's a Challenge Cup champion with Cardiff Devils, yours truly, and was a Spieler for Dry Yars with the Ice Piraten Crimmitschau, the Pirates of Crimmitschau on the ice. And he's the pod's first ever trip to Poland and one of the best teammates I've ever had. Welcome to the pod or the shed, Carl Hudson.
Hey, Wally, thanks for having me, man. Good intro. That's awesome.
Buddy, it's great to see you again. How's Poland?
You know what? I was quite surprised. We are loving it here. We're in a very nice city, and we got a good spot, and my son's in school, and we're really enjoying it so far.
He's in school, like Polish school?
It's an international school.
Oh boy,
well,
you're paying the big bucks?
Only...
You're not paying for that, are you?
We are, but it's not like back in Canada. It cost, I think it's 370 zloty. Which is about zloty. So that's about $100 a month.
Oh, that's great. No, I was thinking like, you know, the international schools where like the guys in the DL would send their kids and they pay like 20 grand a year or something. The guys that made big bucks. Do you ever hear about those schools?
Like Montessori and stuff?
This would be like in Germany. They'd go to the international school and they'd pay a pretty penny.
Yeah.
So is your kid speaking any Polish? Is that?
I don't think so. He might learn it soon. He was speaking German when we left Crimmitschau.
Really?
But yeah. Well, I say speaking. He was singing songs in German.
How old is he?
He's just turned 3 last weekend.
Well, happy birthday, Logan. Right?
I'll tell him that. I'll tell him you said that.
And you got McKinley?
Yeah, McKinley. She's a firecracker, little daredevil. I think she got more of the Hudson side, and Logan's a little more cautious. He got the Rusak, my wife's side of the family.
I kind of have an idea. I know what you're talking about. But yeah, no, my daughter just cut her hair at school the other day. Just the bangs. Looks real good, honey. Real good.
A friend of hers did it, or she did it on her own?
She did it on her own, and she says nobody knows she did it. And I'm like, well, what'd you do with the hair? She said, I just put it in the garbage, carried out. Yeah, it looks really good. So really good. Okay, so I usually get into how we know each other, Carl. So we played for the Cardiff Devils. You were a former Potter, but you were a half episode. You jumped in with pigs, right, for my first three-way. And
yeah, you kind of gave me a big heads up on that one, eh?
Hey, sometimes you got to be ready, right? When the worm goes in the water, the fish has got to bite, right? And I was at your wedding, right? That's actually one of the stories I tell on the pod, is that was like one of the first times I spoke German after I left Germany, like 5 years later. Was you had a couple there from Kaufborn, I think, and I told them I didn't know English and I can only speak German, right?
Yeah, so that was we call them Oma and Opa.
Grandma and Grandpa, right?
Yeah, because I mean they were like our German parents, I guess. We spent all Christmas there, and they come to visit us in Canada, and we just became really close with them. They became close with both our parents, and now they're close. Like they send gifts for Logan and McKinley all the time, and it's great.
Yeah, they were really nice people. I enjoyed my time at the wedding as well, Carl. Thanks for inviting me.
No problem. You had some pretty good dance moves there between you and my dad. I don't know who won the dance off, but
Well, it was a good competition. He was ready to compete. Yeah, your old man, your parents were great folks when I always saw them when they came to Cardiff. Um, I think your old man still owes me a beer though for defending your honor.
Where's that?
When I
Oh yeah,
fought
you did.
when I fought
Yeah,
for you in Cardiff, remember?
yeah, that's true. I did like a front flip from a was it a knee or a hip check or something?
Yeah, that noble guy took you out. Um, and yeah, it I was right behind the drop pass, so I fought the guy, and I fared pretty well, I thought. But your old man always said he was going to buy me a beer for doing that when we
Was
chatted
that
on
was that one of your
FaceTime all the time, right? Because we were neighbors.
yeah, was that one of your last games too?
Yeah, that was my second last ever.
Second last game, I thought that, yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the things I remember, and I always told Lisa I was going to get one more fight. So thanks for getting submarined, Carl.
No problem.
At least you weren't injured, because that was one of the dirtiest plays I've ever seen. That guy's a punk. Okay, how else we know each other is yeah, we'd go out with your parents when they'd come to Cardiff, and you'd come when my parents. We were neighbors, right? What was that place called? Celestia House.
Was it Celestia House? That was a great spot, eh?
Oh, right on Cardiff Bay, looking over the water.
Yeah, there was that one, I forget the name of that one bar that was close by there. It's something about boats, I think.
Oh, you don't remember the name, Carl? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they adopted you as a son. The World of Boats, Carl.
I know, World of Boats. What a great spot.
Overlooking the bay from the far side, you could just see the all the traffic and all the people, but you're off on your own, right?
It's exactly. It was the best view, and I love that spot.
Yeah, that was fun. My wife just texted me that my window's open and it's raining, but you know, I'm trying to stay focused here. I'm gonna tell her I'm on with you. We'll
tell her to
fix
come say
it.
hi.
Well, we're live in the shed. I don't know if she'll want to come in. We'll see. Okay. How else we know each other? What do we got here? Yeah, you spent a lot of time with Colby. This was before you had kids, and I'm sure your kids are having a blast with you because you were a hoot with my kids. So thanks for being a good neighbor. We had a lot of fun. You taught Colby how to hunt with Nerf guns, pigeons in Cardiff Bay, right?
Yeah, that's right. I remember that going down to the park. I think we would grab a coffee or a Gatorade or something, and we'd go to the park and
right. Yeah,
good
coffees and
times.
Gatorade. Yeah, protein shakes. Actually, I think they were. Yeah. But yeah, you'd put the bread out, and then the pigeons would come eat it, and you'd have little Colby like 3 years old in between your legs, and you guys would shoot the pigeons with the Nerf gun. Gosh, that was fun.
On the record, the Nerf guns weren't strong enough to hurt the pigeons.
Yeah, nobody was getting hurt. But do you want to hear my story for the week, Carl?
Let's hear it.
This Saturday, I took my dog down to the beach for a walk. It's just down the road here, right? Yeah. And I get to the beach, I start walking. I got the headphones in, and out of nowhere, there was all of a sudden a dog, a huge dog, a Rottweiler, biting my dog's leg and like shaking it and like trying to rip its leg off. And I'm like, holy, and I'm like, what the hell is happening? This dog's got no leash, no collar, and there is no people around. I'm the only person around. And I'm like, holy shit. So I didn't know what to do. And this dog's got my dog's leg. So I did kick it in the head as hard as I could, about 5 times, and it did not care. This dog was on my dog. And then at one point, so then I got my dog on a leash. So then I'm like, well, let's run. And I'm like, that's not working. And my dog's just trying to get away from this thing. Well, so then at one point
you're not fast enough. You're
not fast enough at all. So then I get pulled into the sand. I'm laying in the sand, Carl, and there's a Rottweiler trying to kill my dog right beside me. And I'm laying in the sand, holding onto the leash. And I'm like, what the hell am I going to do? My dog might die right now. And I don't know what's going to happen to me because I'm laying right beside them. And I stood up and I'm like, I got to be the alpha here. And I screamed at the dog, like right in the Rottweiler's face, not knowing if it was going to like bite me or what the hell was going to happen. And then I got its attention and it looked at me, and I got in between that dog and my dog. And then it kept trying to get around me, but wouldn't actually go around me. And then I bought enough time until the guy whose dog it was got him. And I was trying to keep, like, I was like playing goalie in between my dog and this Rottweiler that was literally trying to kill him. And it was insane, man. I was like shaking after. It was one of the scariest things I've ever been a part of.
What did the guy say when he got his dog? Like,
he literally got over there like in a panic and got the collar on him. He had no leash still, so he pulls him away on just a collar. And I was like, oh my God, I got to get out of here. I got to check my dog. I got to make sure everything's okay. And I kind of let him know that his dog should not be alive anymore and it should be put down like today. And I was shaking and quite up, I was wound. And but he had 3 children with him and another dog on a leash that didn't seem very friendly. And I'm like, I got to get out of this situation. And I shook my head at them. I had never seen them before. This is a very small town and I've never seen these people before.
I was going to say, was he like, where is he from?
Really am looking forward to figuring out where they live and where this dog lives because it was insane. And if my children would have been there, dude, whew. So anyways, I had to get that off my chest. Okay.
Yeah. The funny thing is that this summer, Logan actually got attacked by a dog.
Jesus.
But yeah, one of my best buddies' dog. But looking back on it, it was kind of my fault. Like I went to spend the weekend there, and we kept them separate because my buddy knows that like Nana is unsure about the dog around kids and stuff. He's fine around us and other dogs, but around kids, he's not sure. And then
that's not
last
a good trait.
day. No, and he has a daughter too, but they keep like the dog stays
probably protective of the child because it's like part of that family.
I know. I think the dog stays outside, like almost like they keep him separate totally. But then I went out onto the balcony to get my shoes, like about to leave, like after the weekend, and Logan followed me in there, and the dog just attacked, and like. I mean, yeah. So it was kind of my fault because, like, my buddy warned me, and like, I don't know.
Yeah, but like, like I love dogs,
dude.
But if they're not good dogs,
right to the face. Like Logan got 2 stitches underneath his chin.
Seriously.
Yeah. But again, you know what I say is you can never blame the dog.
Well. I'm just curious why that dog's first intentions were right to attack my dog, right? It wasn't coming over to like smell or sniff or nothing. It was coming to attack. And like that dog, that's just weird. And like, I don't know if you can't, I don't know, man. Weird times, but it was, that's way, if your child's getting attacked by a dog, you must have been so freaked out. Like what? Man. Cause
I was super upset at first, but then I said like, the dog was kind of like in its pen, and like it just so happened that Logan came into the dog's pen, right? So it's
little gray area there. Okay, we'll give it.
Yeah,
we'll give them the benefit of the doubt on that one. But the guy on the beach, no benefit of the doubt. If there were children around, if there was anybody else around, and that was happening, man, exactly. I was scared for my life, and like I ain't a child, and it was craziness.
Yeah.
So anywho,
that's that's a bit of adrenaline there for the week, eh?
It was, man. I haven't had the heart rate up like that and felt like that actually probably since I got in that fight, Carl. That was the only time I get adrenaline going like that is when I get in hockey fights where it actually like shake,
You're welcome for trying to pull a dangle that I just can't do.
I think you were just trying to buzz by him wide, and he literally slid on his knees. I remember watching.
No, he didn't slide up. Oh, I remember now. You know what he did?
Submarined you.
Yeah, exactly. He tried to do like who's that WWF fighter there, Goldberg or whatever his name was.
I don't know.
He tried to spear. He speared my knee.
Yeah, it was nuts, basically. And I was right behind you looking for the drop pass. Surely you didn't see me. You're just still going wide. Taking it to the hole.
I got the horse blinders on, man. Still do.
No, you don't. Yeah, you could. But you were probably one of the best skating D-men I've ever played with, Carl. Smooth.
Well, yeah, I mean,
how's that in your older age now? Are you still fast?
You did play with Hoff, So he's a pretty smooth skater too.
Yeah, yeah. I trucked around too, I think we're still in how we know each other, Carl, because I had to talk about that dog thing. We better move on. We spent a lot of time in Cardiff together at Hoth and Hendo's house, since Hoth's name just brought up. They lived right by me, and we spent a lot of time over there. And the George brothers, right? Eli
Yeah.
Jenkins in the Bay, we spent some time at as well.
What's Eli Jank? I don't even
That's
remember
the
that
place
place.
I would go to. That was my world of boats. Remember?
Eli Jenkins.
It was
Was
right.
that the place right on the corner?
It was right by the Tesco, like right on the. It was right by Magic Wrap, kind of. A lot of free ads here
Okay.
in the Bay here. Anyways, moving on. What's the Polish food like?
Honestly, we are amazed at the restaurants here. I don't know if it's like a inner city competition, but like this. So we're in Katowice, and every restaurant we've tried has been just fantastic.
And are
Like
they all Polish food, or are you trying? Are there different
no,
ones?
so on Saturday we went out for a nice calm dinner with the two kids. It was very relaxing and
Yeah, I remember those.
it was an absolute disaster. Like Logan just threw it like a little dipping thing of sour cream on the floor and just broke. This like kind of fancy restaurant. Meanwhile, fancy in Poland doesn't mean expensive. It was fancier. Um, but we've tried Polish food. We've had like just Italian food is really good. There's a lot of Thai restaurants, stuff like that.
So Polish food, is that what are they called? God, I can't. Pierogies.
Pierogies, yeah. They have pierogies. Potato pancakes are big here too, which are delicious.
Really? What do you put on that? Not maple syrup, ketchup?
No, like sour cream
Oh dear. Bacon
or
bits? Bacon bits?
bacon bits would be good. I haven't seen it yet though.
Maybe some green onions on there. Just thinking out loud.
Yeah,
Thinking out loud.
no. So Logan had green onions on his on Saturday, and
That's probably
then
why he's throwing the sweet and sour.
So burgers are huge here too.
Like your standard
And
hamburger?
yeah, but these
A
aren't
lot of
standard
cows in Poland. Yeah, I was gonna say, is there a lot of cows up there?
I haven't seen one cow yet.
Right. But you're eating burgers, eh?
I don't know where the beef is coming from, but
So are the prices right on the food there too? Or is it like Norway?
oh, it's not like Norway. It's like you go out to eat, and then when I first got here, I didn't have like my Polish bank account and stuff. So I would use my German card, and it would ask me to translate to euro, and I'd be like, "Wait, I just had a burger, 3 beers, and a shot for €10."
Really?
Oh yeah, it's
It's
amazing.
living, eh? Gosh.
And it like I'm not talking like a McDonald's burger. I'm talking like a gourmet, like something that would be like over $20 back home.
Oh yeah, everything's over $20 now, man. You
Yeah.
you can't go anywhere for like you buy a beer in a restaurant now. It's like it's $10 at least, like because it's $8 plus your tax plus your tip. It's
Plus your tip, yeah.
like how do any of the hockey boys in Canada ever get in one anymore, right? It's too expensive.
Yeah, unless you're playing for the Leafs.
Right. Or they know the Bayfield Brewing Company.
There you go.
Cheers to them.
I'll have to check that place out.
Yeah.
Maybe when we come for a visit.
Well, yeah, and we need to come check out your new place. So where are you guys living again?
So we are living
by Peterborough.
Yeah. So it's like in between Lindsay and Bob Cajun. I want to say on Sturgeon Lake, but we're not actually on the lake. We're across the street.
Okay.
It's like a little cottage community, I guess you could say.
Yeah, but is there quite a few people that live there year round?
On our street, there isn't. There's maybe, I don't know, 10 people out of 50 houses.
You know what? This is how we got into this is part of how we know each other that I didn't write down, Carl, because we're talking about
What's
this.
that?
You and your wife, before you had children, always would say you're gonna go up north and live off the land. You weren't even gonna like what? You were gonna live off the land and do your own thing, right? Or is that still a thing?
Oh, so funny enough, I'm still all about that. Kind of.
She was the one that was all about it before, and I was like,
I know. And then once we had kids and stuff, and then she wants to be close to family, and it's nice to
that's a
have
big part.
neighbors.
Yeah. Yeah. Neighbors are great. Yeah. They help
And
a
I
lot.
told her, I'm like, listen, if we go out in the woods and really do this, you're not going to have that.
Nope.
And like, as soon as the kid gets sick, she's like, oh, we got to take him to the doctor. We got,
Yeah.
and I'm like, well, you don't get that either if you're living out in the bush. So,
Like we're talking
she,
living out in a bush, right? Like that's what the
yeah.
plan was.
So then she got away from that. And, and now lately with dealing with our taxes from like Poland and Germany, and she's like, man, honestly,
And where were your children born?
they were both born in Zwickau, so just outside Crimmitschau in Germany.
So they're both born in Germany, and let me tell you, you start, yeah, like for myself, it's like marrying an American, and then you like the paperwork, and then you have a kid in Wales and Germany, and you guys will be dealing with the same stuff, doing taxes, having kids, the frickin' paperwork you have to deal with when you start crossing borders, eh?
Yeah. Well, so the paperwork for them being born was pretty simple. There wasn't like much to it.
Yeah, well,
we just had to,
yeah, because you guys are both Canadian. Yeah, it was a little bit more difficult when we got American,
yeah,
Canadian, and then all the, yeah.
yeah. So we just like, I think we just applied for his Canadian citizenship passport through like Berlin or something.
Yeah, who's getting who? Allie did all this, Carl.
Yeah, she did. Oh, but Logan got his Irish citizenship, and I did all that work.
Attaboy. Well, good for you. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
But then Zoe couldn't get Welsh, and she's actually born there. So what's up with that, Wales? You know?
Well, they can't get German ones either.
No, they didn't get that. No. Would have been cool if they would have had all that, though.
Well,
Yeah, we can get it because it's landed immigrants, right, that are having babies. So that's the same. With you already had Irish. That's how he can get it, right?
Yeah,
so your
that's how
daughter
he
will
can
be able
get
to get it too then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. A lot of doors opening for your kids, Carl. Good work.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we better get into the show like normal here then. We haven't got into anything. So, part of all this is, I guess, we're talking about where you live now and living up north and all that and middle of nowhere. So, minor hockey and growing up in Smooth Rock Falls, Ontario, Canada. And where is that, Carl?
Yeah, so Smooth Rock Falls is it's the biggest little town in the north.
The biggest little town in the north.
That's that's our saying, right?
Right.
I don't know what it means. I don't know what it means. So
It's the biggest little town around there, buddy.
yeah.
That's what it means.
So it's an hour north of Timmins. So it's up there.
You're north of Timmins because Timmins is north.
It's up there. So it's an hour north of there, and both my parents were teachers. And I don't know why they chose Smooth Rock Falls, but they did, and they're still there. So obviously they love it.
I think that's why they chose it.
Yeah. And growing up was awesome. I mean, I had an outdoor rink across the street from my house that my dad would build, because the school he worked at was across the street from my house.
Oh, that's perfect. So how many kids are in the school, Carl?
Oh, geez. Back then, there used to be a lot more people, because there used to be a wood mill.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And then that closed down. So when I graduated high school, I left to go play hockey, and I came back for my grade 12 for high school. My dad was the principal, and graduated at the same time as my sister, because She was doing the grade 13 that they used to have back then.
Yeah, they call it OAC or something. Whatever. Yeah.
OAC, yes, yeah, something like that. And then I had skipped a grade when I moved away because they had, I don't know, grades were together. Anyways, so she's 2 years older. We ended up taking the same classes together and graduating at the same time. My dad's the principal, and there was about 10 of us.
And I think this would be a fun fact for the pod. Is that school English or French?
It was French.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
tu parles un petit peu français?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
You parles français un petit peu?
Oui, je parle un peu de français. Oui.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, and you played in France, so that would be handy.
Yeah, it was handy.
Why
And
do
yeah,
they
going
speak
back to
French
living-
up there though? I know like I did a class about why they speak French in Quebec and Montreal back in university, but I don't know why they would speak it up there.
I think it was back in the day when you had the James Bay. I'm making this shit up, but I might be right.
Go for it. Do it.
So
Make it up at the shed. This we love to do this
Yeah.
shit.
You can put this up on Wikipedia if you want.
Okay, so
But,
how did it happen?
My guess would be when they used to the Hudson's Bay Trading Company, right? That came from England. And then so we're right just south of James Bay. And then they used to trade a lot in Quebec, right? That was the main like stopping area. And then the Hudson Bay goes into Quebec, and maybe they would come down to James Bay and then go south from there.
Right, and it was a trail of French speakers, right?
Yeah, and maybe the French speakers kind of moved, because I don't think there was Ontario-Quebec borders back then.
Yeah,
So maybe
I remember reading, or my last class of university ever. This was the one I took like 5-6 years after leaving school. It's the only one I ever had to take, and I didn't do it for 5 or 6 years. Was like American history before like 1860, and it talked about like how Montreal and Quebec became French. It was pretty actually cool to hear. They took it over at night or something, and then all of a sudden, like now they still speak French to this day. Kind of interesting.
There you go.
Yeah,
I like my story for Ontario French, but I doubt it's right.
I think it's right. It makes sense.
It makes sense.
Wasn't in my textbook, but whatever. So how do you get out of Smooth Rock Falls, and what's like the minor hockey like there if you only have that many kids? We got to get moving here. We're gonna be here all day, man. I guess that doesn't matter. Whatever.
Yeah. So I played house league growing up, and then my parents saw that, like,
Yeah, you would have been running amok.
I was okay, and I just loved it. Right. I just loved playing hockey. I was always out there. And so they sent me to Timmins when I was, I forget how old I was.
I think I looked at it. It would have been about Bantam, right? Because you went to Timmins and Kapuskasing.
So the year I was in Kapuskasing, I actually lived at home.
Oh, okay.
But I went away before that for I think 1 or 2 years, and then ended up coming back home.
And this is at what age? At grade 8, you're moving away from home.
Well, so I was in grade 9, but I
guess you don't have a choice, right? In Smooth Rock, if you want to play hockey, you're gonna like at least get to Timmins.
So, and the other problem up there is like Smooth Rock wouldn't give me a release. So they're like, what? Even if it's a higher league, yeah, they don't give your rights up.
Shut up. They're gonna hold you back and keep you in Smooth Rock, like you're in minor hockey jail. Woolen Shop, Brown Ale.
So it's like, I think our division was D. So like if you think about it, you got AAA, AA, single A,
double
B, C, and then D. And
we got some D centers in my area now, Carl. You don't be bad mouth the D centers, okay?
I'm not. That's where I come from. So I went away to Timmins, and then I ended up playing, I think, Bantam AAA there. and then went back home, played midget AAA, and then after that,
You go to Hawkesbury.
Hawkesbury. So that was a battle too, because I had to get a release from the Northern Ontario Junior Hockey League.
Where's Hawkesbury?
So Hawkesbury's right in between Ottawa and Montreal.
So did you have to get released from like your junior league to go to a different junior league?
Yeah, exactly. So what the coach in Hawkesbury did is he signed me up for a college, like a farmer's college,
Yeah.
like to become a farmer. Because this place outside Hawkesbury called Alfred, it's the chip stand capital of the world, I think.
Chip stand,
Anyways,
like French fry trucks. You're talking? What are you talking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chip stands. Yeah, chip trucks.
Okay. Food trucks. Yep. Chip
Anyways.
wagons. Yep. Go ahead.
This is one of the only agricultural colleges in Ontario. So he signed me up. The team paid for me to go to school for a semester there.
Did you go to the classes?
I did for 2 weeks. And the best thing is, I had my
If you're gonna live on the land, Carl, maybe you should have gone to class.
Yeah, well, I did. And okay, funny story. A couple funny stories here. We're gonna be here all night. So we're coming back from a road trip, and the coach says, you have to go to school tomorrow. You actually have to report because your release isn't in yet, and we have to like prove that you're going to school. So he gets dropped off by the bus at home, and then he gives me the keys to his car. I get in his car. It's a Standard. Never driven a Standard. I have two newfies with me. They don't. I can't even understand what they're saying.
Really? Come on, you can understand newfies. Or were you more?
I could barely speak English at the time.
So were your parents speaking French to you in the house too?
Yeah. So these two newfies.
Their English was good when they came over to Cardiff.
Yeah, my dad's from an English family, but
right. That's what. Okay, sorry,
so
I'm getting sidetracked. Keep going.
So I got these two newfies in the back seat. Come on, by, just put in gear, by. Like, what are you saying? I don't know what you're saying, man. Buddy, I couldn't even start I didn't know I had to press the clutch to start the car. And we don't have smartphones, so we can't Google it back then.
Or YouTube it. How to start a standard car.
So I finally get the car started, and then I'm like, okay, I better do a couple laps around town, like while there's no traffic and stuff, to get used to this whole thing. So we finally get it started, a couple laps around town. I get to this intersection, middle of the intersection. Cars are honking at me. I'm like, man, I'm trying to get this started again. Like, anyways, it was pretty funny looking back at it now. And then the next story is the next day I end up going to school, and it's in Alfred, and my dad ends up telling me a story about how he used to teach there. So it used to be institution for like a reform institution.
Like, as in not good
Like,
people? Like,
yeah, well, maybe not good people who made mistakes. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Or
like a juvenile type.
Yeah,
is that what it's called? Juvenile halls or whatever they're called when they're like bad kid that get in some trouble. That dude. Yeah. Little. Okay. That's what it used to be. Yeah.
So I guess my dad used to teach there. And he tells me this story about this has nothing to do with podcasts or hockey, but it's a pretty funny story.
That's what we're here for.
So he's teaching a class, and there's this guy called Crazy Roy in his class, and Crazy Roy says, it's my dad's first day, and he says, Mr. Hudson, I'm going to jump out that window. And my dad says, it's my first day, just if you can wait till tomorrow, it'll be my second day. Just don't do it on my first day. My dad looks away for a second. Next thing you know, Crazy Roy jumps out the second story window head first.
That's not funny. Why are we laughing? Was he okay?
Anyways, there was a lot of snow on the ground. He comes back up and he says, "Oh, I'm okay, Mr. Hudson. You're all good." So it's just insane how like the circle of life, right? Where I
And
ended
that's
up
where
a
you
month
ended
of
up
this to
going
go-
to school to be a
Yeah,
farmer.
yeah, for 2 weeks.
Oh gosh. Well, good thing Crazy Roy's okay. Um,
Yeah,
yeah. So it was just
I,
that first day, and then that was that. Then
that's the only story I got. I don't.
yeah, I bet you there's
Yeah,
probably a couple more. But,
yeah, I'm sure
uh,
there is.
just guessing. Okay, we better keep moving on here because I think your story is quite interesting, Carl. That you grew up there, and you get all the places you've been, man. It's quite the ride you've been on. So you go to Hawkesbury. Okay, we got to get back on track now. Okay,
Yeah, let's go.
I'm reeling you back in here now. That's funny though. You get to Hawkesbury and then you dominate that league, eh?
Yeah, so I think
Well,
the
by the
first one
third year, I guess when you grow
by
up,
the
right? You're
third
a
year,
young buck
yeah,
you're a young buck in junior. It's hard to be good, right?
yeah. So I ended up going to Cornwall's camp, and then the Hawkesbury coach like poached me from that camp, and he fed us a bunch of, I'll get you here, blah blah blah. You'll be a top
And
D.
that's how you
Uh,
try to get your release from the North League is because you go to Cornwall's camp.
no, so I didn't have the release yet to go to Cornwall, but the coach in Hawkesbury said he'd do all this to get me there.
Right.
Um, so anyways, he gets
And
me
that's
there.
how teams win though, right? In junior, I'm starting to
Yeah.
realize it in minor hockey too, is that like these coaches that are in AAA or whatever, and that will do anything to recruit the best players. Those are the teams that win.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So he was an unbelievable coach. One of the I know like Lordo obviously is one of the best coaches, and then this Eric Veilleux, unbelievable coach. He was just like knew how to
Veilleux,
get
Veilleux, like the
they
VEILLEUX.
exactly, yeah.
Boom, nailed it.
I think he might be in the American League now. I think so. Syracuse maybe.
Oh, probably
Um,
better than the coach I had there.
but yeah, he was great, and he knew like we didn't have the most skilled team, but he knew how to make us just like guys were blocking shots head first, and like
He
it
knew how
was
to
just
get the
like,
boys going and
oh
and,
yeah,
and be together and do anything for each other.
it was similar, I guess. Well, in Cardiff we also had the skilled team, but like maybe put less skill and even more grit and toughness, and that's was our Hawkesbury team.
Yeah. Well, so
Yeah.
if you guys are so tough then, Carl, why 1 year did you get over 200 penalty minutes in junior? What are you doing? You're not fighting
I was,
people, are you?
I was big back then. I was like 220 pounds.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. A little over. Did you have some
So I was,
did you have some
and
junk in your trunk?
no, I was
Oh, you
just,
didn't have a muffin top or nothing at 220?
no, I was like, just like, I don't know, just bench press and weight gainers and let's go.
Okay. All right.
And
So you're
again, I
taking
had,
penalty minutes by what? Like you're hitting guys really hard open ice probably because I remember seeing that. But you're also what, fighting? You're fighting people?
yeah, I was fighting. That again, penalty minutes don't mean you're winning fights.
No. And back then to play junior, you had to fight, right? Like that was part of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, it just seemed a bit excessive, but you were the playoff MVP. We better keep moving. You were the playoff MVP, Carl, and you get recruited to Canisius. So what was it like winning in junior in Hawkesbury?
Oh, it was unbelievable. Yeah, we had a great group of guys. Like we still talk to this day with a lot. Like I still talk with a lot of them to this day.
You guys would be coming up on your 20-year anniversary too, like I just had.
So we tried getting some together. I think last summer or something, and it just fell through. Like guys with kids and guys are all over the place, and but we'll definitely try and get something going here soon.
Yeah, we didn't actually get to do the full thing. There was a big to-do supposed to happen, and then yeah, it didn't. But we zoomed, and a bunch of us showed up to the golf tournament. But yeah, the whole thing never did transpire yet. But
Yeah,
it's the friendships you keep for the rest of your life when you win in junior. Like I've talked to
exactly.
guys that didn't win in junior, and they're like, well, I talked to like a few guys, right?
Yeah, but no, it was yeah, Hawkesbury was fun. The first year especially, because like I think we finished 8th and played the first seed or something like that, and then we end up like every series wasn't close till the last one went game 7 against Nippy, and then we won 7-1.
You were the 8th seed and won it.
Yeah, and then we like it went to game 7 against Nippy, who'd ran the league the whole year, and then we beat them 7-1
in game 7.
Yeah, so it was pretty unbelievable. And then we
fun
go
night.
to
Fun night. Pretty young then. Pretty young. Fun night.
It was okay. I don't remember it, so it must not have been that memorable.
Right. Understood. And then you won again though there, right?
Yeah, so the next year we won again. But then we lost at the Fred Page Cup, so we didn't get to the RBC that year.
I don't know anything about any of that.
So the year before we win our league, and then we played against Quebec and the Maritime League to go to nationals.
Oh, so so that would be the same as like the junior BI one, that the 3 leagues play each other to see who's the Southern Cup champion, but then you guys would still have to do more. Yeah. After we were done that, we'd be done, but you guys would then go the RBC. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyways, how'd you get recruited to Canisius, and why Canisius? Because they weren't a big school back then, eh?
No, they weren't. I mean, I think it was. I'm the kind of guy who signs something and then thinks about it later.
Yeah.
So they offered me. I think it was around Christmas time, and I said, I went for a visit. I had my.
What year of junior is this? This is your last year?
No, I think I had one more year.
Yeah, because your final year, then you're becoming playoff MVP, and the whole thing. Canisius must have been pretty excited.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I signed around Christmas time, and it was the only. I think I had a couple visits, but no like offers yet, and then they just call and.
And it's hard to turn down a full ride, even if it's a smaller school. When you got like a year and a half of junior left, when it's like a for sure thing, you've been working your whole life to get a scholarship, and it's there, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
you could have gone to bigger schools if you would have waited longer and bet on yourself, right? But it's hard when they put that in front of you, and you got to do it, right?
Yeah. Also, you can't live with regret, because
what's the point?
Can't, right?
Well, what's the point? Yeah, where's that get you?
Nowhere.
Okay. Well, you know what? We haven't had, actually, we've had quite a few love stories lately, but I want another one because I always enjoyed my time with Allie, your wife, when we were neighbors, and you guys were good cooks too. I enjoyed when you guys would make food. And I would like to know when you guys met. Was she not at Canisius as a lacrosse player?
Yeah, she was. So we
met in the dorms, in the cafe.
No, we were in the same class, all the same classes. Like we had the same program, and then because we were both athletes, I remember we used to do all the sports, and like we'd do the stretches together, like in phys ed class and stuff.
What course did you guys take?
Phys ed.
Okay.
So we'd have to like stretch each other, and she'd be stretching my leg and just said like, man, he just reeks of booze every morning.
Is this when she's like grabbing your foot to do the hamstring
Yeah,
stretch?
exactly. And anyways, so then we became study partners
Oh dear.
because of the stretching. And she's
Really? You
like,
guys showed a lot of promise in the stretching?
yeah. So it's like, man, he just comes home and like, or he just comes to study and he's drunk. Like he's drunk to go study. Like that's what she would that's what she would tell her roommates, right? And then she said like, oh, what'd you get on your on your test? I'm like, oh, I got 100. And she would get like 90 and be so rattled. It's like, how is this possible?
Yeah.
Like you were wasted last night studying.
And you speak French.
Yeah. I think I still had an accent back then too.
Oh gosh.
But I don't have accent now, so it's okay. I speak normal and
Oh
no.
gosh.
So anyways, so we were study partners. And then I remember his roommate.
Study partners in phys ed. So like, what do you do? Like play football together and soccer and like.
No, we still had like chemistry, biology.
You gotta do all the
physiology.
sciences.
Yeah. And then her roommates were like, "You're not gonna start liking this guy, are you?" And she's like, "I think I already do." Anyways, so we end up, we just clicked from the start, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
You get someone who can deal with me and like it.
I totally understand.
You're in the same boat, right?
Oh man. And then like it's like for Lisa, like when hockey ended, she probably like thought like, okay, like now like just now with the podcast and the shed, it's like it's right back to yeah.
So this would have been sophomore year. Around Christmas time we started dating. And then after that, we were inseparable, basically, which, I mean,
I think it's inseparable, but you got her.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What did I say?
I'm
French.
Yes, no, you're doing great. Nobody can even tell you're French. But yeah, so she was a lacrosse player, right? From Orangeville, Ontario. So where's Canisius?
Canisius is in Buffalo. So it's only 2 hours from Orangeville, actually.
Okay.
It's like right, I wouldn't say downtown Buffalo, like 5 minutes from downtown Buffalo. I love Buffalo still to this day. If like other than last year because of COVID, we go back every year.
Buffalo,
it's just a great place.
Buffalo?
Love that city.
Buffalo.
It's great, man. So like my roommate for 4 years was from Buffalo.
Oh, that'd be fun.
So like I got to spend like,
you get to know a whole bunch of different people then, right? You'd meet all his buddies, right?
Exactly. It's just and they were all like just such good people there. I loved it.
Yeah. Well, shout out for the small world area. This is Cody Britton, my buddy from around here who plays for the Ripley Wolves, also from Orangeville, Ontario. I just went and watched him play and he scored a couple goals. So we're running amok, and he said he used to work out with Ali way back in the day. Yeah, when we were chatting. I don't know how I know that, but it happened. Just so you know. Okay, your internet's struggling. Are you frozen on me right now? Carl, are you there? Carl?
I lost you, buddy.
Are you back though? What's going on here, Carl? Talk to me. Carl.